Am I the asshole for refusing to give my boyfriend my PIN number after he took my credit card without consent? Title sound horrible, but give me a chance to explain. IF24 have been seeing my boyfriend Martin M30 for 8 months. He's super funny and sweet. He's currently out of job for health reasons, but he's actively looking for a new job. This our first major fight, and I'm not sure whether I was at fault here. 2 days ago, we spent the night together and he went to the store early in the morning to buy some groceries. Unbeknownst to me, he took my credit card to shop with it. I got woken up by him calling asking me to give him my credit card PIN number. I was confused. I asked why and he said he went grocery shopping with my card and forgot to ask me to give him the PIN before he left. I got mad and felt quite violated. I told him I was sorry, but I gave no permission for him to go out and shop using my card. He sounded confused and said he was just trying to buy us breakfast and it only cost $20. I said I was sorry but refused to give him the PIN number. He obviously sounded upset and asked why. I told him because he didn't consider getting my permission to take my card and use it. He said, "All right then, guess no breakfast for us," then hung up. I called and called but no response. He returned and handed me the card back, then went on to complain about how he was just trying to buy us breakfast and that he wasn't intending on making a huge purchase. I said I understood, but it's all about consent to me. He seemed pretty irritated and upset, though he said it was fine. He left after this and hasn't returned my calls. He then texted that he wasn't intending on stealing from me and that he thought that I wouldn't make such a fuss about it, and that he did get my permission when he called to ask for the PIN number, but I feel like it's just me feeling like he violated my boundaries. He's been upset since then, saying I ruined our time together by making a huge deal out of it and embarrassing him at the store by making him return the stuff he bought at the register. Gosh. I feel like I was such an asshole here, but I think that he could have asked first. I want to hear what you guys think of this. Am I the asshole or not? Thought that I wouldn't make such a fuss. Been upset. Saying I ruined our time together. Embarrassing him. He is emotionally manipulating you. This is all on him. He took your card without your consent. That's the issue here. You're not obliged to share your PIN with anybody. If it's only $20, why didn't he pay for it? Not the asshole. Not the asshole op. He stole your card then got mad you wouldn't help him use that card? That's like breaking into someone's house and being mad that they don't help carry your stuff to their car. European here, for purchases of $20. If the retailer has a chip and PIN reader, the user can tap the card, no PIN required. PIN only needed for higher value purchases. Is this not the same in the US? Not the asshole, and the fact he could not or would not use his own money is a red flag. Not the asshole. Taking your card without asking you is literally stealing from you. It doesn't matter if he intended to spend $20 or $2,000. It's stealing. He's an asshole for stealing, and he's way worse for doubling down and refusing to accept responsibility. Not the asshole. My partner and I have been together 13 years and I'd still never take their card without asking. Because that isn't my money. You can't spend someone else's money without asking. Because that is theft. I feel like I was such an asshole. This is manipulation at its finest. This is not a sweet guy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole he took your card, while you were sleeping. It's not him doing something nice if you're paying for it. 8 months is not a long relationship, huge red flag with his gaslighting. Get out now before he changes your mind. This was an OK violation. Not the asshole. That is theft and you should call your bank and get a new card, because he still had access to your credit number and the CVV digits on the card to proceed with online purchases. He is not trustworthy and I'd break up with him, instead of chasing him because he's upset. He showed you a bright red flag 8 months in. Take notice and run. Am I the asshole for confirming for my daughter why my ex and I divorced? This is a rough situation where everyone loses, I think. My ex and I divorced 3 years ago. I thought everything was fine, but she raised the possibility of an open relationship and I didn't want that. That was a deal-breaker for her because she says she's figured out that she's non-monogamous by nature and felt stifled by not being able to express it. I offered to go to counseling with her about it, but I just don't want to be married to someone who isn't faithful. So, we split up, and the kids, 18 female, 16 male now, 15 and 13 at the time, did not take it well. Especially my daughter. My ex insisted that we not tell the kids about her being poly and that being the cause of the breakup because she wasn't ready to be out. So we had to couch the divorce as just not being happy or compatible with each other. My daughter has always been very sharp and she got stuck on the whys of the breakup because it didn't make sense to her. We put both kids in therapy and tried to keep the divorce as painless as possible. But my daughter really took it hard and is an angrier person as a result, and it breaks my heart. My ex has agreed to not expose the kids to her lifestyle until they're both 18 at least. But my daughter figured out that she was dating and their relationship has suffered. My daughter went to college this year, but I got a text from her a couple of weekends ago asking to come to my place for the weekend to talk about something, and of course I said yes. It turns out that her mom had posted about her situation and divorce in a poly group on Facebook, and someone sent my daughter a screenshot. My daughter asked if this was right and the real reason we got divorced. At this point, the cat is out and I'm not going to lie to my kid's face, so I said yes. She had some follow-up questions about why we didn't tell the truth, etc. I asked her not to tell her brother due to our agreements, and she said no, he deserves to know what mom is really like. So, big mess. Both kids are angry with their mom and won't see or talk to her. My ex is losing her mind at me over it, and her family is pissed because they think I caused it by not saying it was a hoax. I don't know who sent the screenshot or why, but they kicked over a major hornet's nest. I guess I broke the agreement. I just didn't want to lie to my kid with the evidence right on the table. Edit. A few people said to include this from a comment. I think it boils down to the way my ex worded the post and how that looks in light of some of my ex decisions in the divorce. She pretty explicitly framed her family as an inconvenience to being poly, and she refused joint custody and rescheduled her weekends often. So the kids feel like she doesn't want them and only cares about herself. Not the asshole. If your ex wanted to keep it a secret from the kids, she shouldn't have posted publicly about it. She told the whole world why you two split. Her judgment clearly isn't very good. I wouldn't put much stock in her claims. Not the asshole. You've respected your ex's request to keep her lifestyle private. Unfortunately, she's learned the hard way that private posts don't always stay private on Facebook. The greater harm would be to lie to your child when they know better. Continue to give them support and honesty. Not the asshole. If your wife wanted to keep her lifestyle a secret, she shouldn't have posted about on a public social media site. She has no one to blame but herself for your daughter finding out. She also never should have expected you to bare-faced lie to your kids. Not the asshole. If your ex-wife was so stifled that she had to divorce you when she did, she was ready to be out. I don't mean that in a judgy way, but simply and practically, if your ex-wife was going to date others, she ran the very real risk of being outed by someone else, and that is exactly what happened. Instead of explaining her sexuality to your kids, she decided to hide it, which is going to do more damage to their relationship, as she is finding out now. She had an opportunity to educate them on why she felt the need to leave, but wasted it. Not the asshole. Why would she post about it on Facebook if she didn't want anyone to know? That's entirely on her, and she shouldn't have expected you to lie to cover her ass. As someone who used to be super active in the toxic mom groups, don't post anything you need kept hidden. There definitely are support groups with great people, but all it takes is one person to screenshot and shit goes down. You were very diligent in keeping things hidden while the divorce was ongoing, but lying to your daughter once she had the truth in front of her, that would have destroyed any trust she had in you. Not the asshole. It was a very rough situation. The only thing could have been for you to say, "Let me speak with your mother and then we can all talk," or, "This is for you and your mother to discuss. The real jerk is whoever sent that screenshot." It wasn't any of their business. Not the asshole. If your ex didn't want your kids to find out, then she shouldn't have joined social media groups or posted about it online. Not the asshole. Your daughter already had the proof in front of her. She really should have gone to her mom instead and given her the chance to be honest. Saying you weren't compatible and not happy and that is why you got a divorce was not a lie though. You are not open to polyamory, and that is what your ex is, therefore you were not compatible and she was not happy. The real asshole here is the person who outed your ex to your daughter. Unfortunately, you and your ex are getting the anger that should be directed at that person. Edit. Ops edit was not there when I initially commented. Ex is clearly also an aw. Not because she is poly, but because she is a shit person. Am I the asshole for moving out when my roommate charged me extra rent? Hi everyone, I'm on mobile, so don't shoot me for formatting. For context, I, 22F, and J, 32F, moved into a house together about 2 years ago. Her name is on the lease and she is technically renting me and her brother and his friend, both 36M, rooms in this house. The two guys downstairs are only there for 4 days a month due to their jobs, and she charges them half as much as me for rent. They also use the full-sized garage in the back to store things. For the last 2 years Jay and I have lived together semi-peacefully. She's quite messy, and due to my mental health messes causing worse anxiety and depression, I tend to clean up a lot after her. She also has 2 dogs and a cat. She asks me to feed and let out her dogs on a regular basis. Her dogs will sometimes get into the garbage, or her cat will pee and poop downstairs cause she hates the boys, and Jay expects the first person to see the mess to clean it up even though it is from her animals. I also have a small room that barely fits my bed, while Jay has a bedroom and a spare room to herself. The boys have a whole basement and the garage to themselves. Now to the issue that broke the last straw for me. Jay gets our electricity bill every 2 months, and for the last billing period she got a huge bill. It is winter and we do live in northern Canada, so it can get quite cold. I was also gone on vacation for 3/8 of a week that this bill was covering. Jay has been complaining about how expensive utilities are and how outrageous this is for her to pay all of this. I pay her rent for March a few days early so she has time to e-transfer rent to the actual owner of the house. I sent her an extra $100 cause I felt bad about the utilities, and after she received it she texted me and asked for an extra $150. So $250 on top of my normal rent. Jay however only pays $100 in rent and then covers the utilities. That was our verbal agreement 2 years ago, but now all of a sudden the utilities should be my responsibility too. She's making me feel like a freeloader that costs her so much money. My friend just bought a house and offered to let me move in. So last night I gave Jay my notice and told her I would be out of the end of March. I am actually moving out next week because I cannot stand to be here any longer. I feel like I'm unwanted in my own space now. Now Jay is upset with me because I'm putting more of a financial burden on her, but my friend offered me cheaper rent and won't charge me for utilities out of the blue. My friend is also much cleaner and has been a huge emotional support as I've been living with Jay and trying to keep the house functional. So am I the asshole for moving out and putting financial stress on Jay? Not the asshole. Get out of there now. It seems like she is taking advantage of you. You just got a better offer. Not your responsibility to make her life easier at your own expense. Not the asshole. Get out of there and don't look back. At 20 I roomed with several people in their later 20s and 30s who took advantage of me financially. I promise you that future you will thank yourself for seeing the red flags and doing what's right for you. Not the asshole. But this is why written rental agreements are so important. You need them in every situation, but especially when renting from a friend, as in, make sure you have one with the friend you're moving in with. Not the asshole. You can live wherever you like, especially under broken agreements. Not the asshole. You're not putting more of financial burden on Jay, you're removing some of the financial burden for yourself. You've given a month's notice but moving out sooner. You're good. Really. Good luck in your new digs, op. I hope it is a peaceful respite from the outside world. Not the asshole. First, your health, mental, emotional, physical, comes first. Second, you've paid the pre-approved rent, plus an extra $100 out of kindness, for the time you've given. Jay needs to step up and actually be responsible and reasonable if she wants to keep tenants. Her guilting you about this is where she's in awe. I'm glad you're finally going to a better place. Not the asshole. You are a renter. It sounds like you do not have a lease that you are breaking. She has a whole month to find a new roommate. Enjoy your new place. Not the asshole. I'm surprised you stuck with her for this long. Am I the asshole for refusing a babysitting gig and getting the mother reported to CPS? 16F. Do part-time babysitting to help raise some money for my dad. Recently, a lady in the neighborhood, 48F, contacted me and said she wanted me to look after her daughter. She said her daughter was 10 and just had minor food allergies. Well, when I got there, turns out this woman lied. The daughter was 15, and turned out to have more than just food allergies. The lady said her daughter had schizoaffective disorder. Apparently it's schizophrenia and mood disorder combined, and autism. I said no, but then the lady kept begging me, so I just gave in. That was until the lady showed me her daughter's room. It was a mess. There was broken glass by the window. It reeked of pee, and I found an open bottle of some yellow liquid that I don't even want to know what was in it. The daughter looked sick, sleep-deprived and malnourished, and was wearing some kind of pacifier? I don't know, but I didn't feel comfortable, so I told her I didn't feel okay with taking care of this kid. Told her to find a caretaker that would be better for her daughter's autism, and ran away from that house as fast as I could. After I described the event to my mom, she immediately contacted CPS because according to her these are big signs of abuse or neglect. The lady has been ranting on Facebook about my services, calling me a scammer who just wants a quick buck and then inconveniences parents. Am I the asshole? Definitely not the asshole. If everything you said is true, her daughter is 100% being abused. She's just salty now that she has to deal with the consequences of not caring for her own child properly. Not the asshole, your mum is completely correct, and even if the lady you met with isn't abusive, it doesn't sound like she's equipped to deal with having a sick child. Not the asshole. I hope CPS pays her a visit because lots of parents of special needs kids neglect them on purpose. Not the asshole, your mother is right. Reply on Facebook detailing what you saw. Not the asshole, but ignore the people telling you to post all about her on Facebook. You have alerted CPS. That is helpful. Revenge posting on Facebook could get you in trouble if this woman accuses you of libel and escalates the Facebook arguments. Not the asshole. If anyone is a scammer, it's that lady for lying to you so that you would come babysit. Great job on telling your mom and getting it reported. That definitely is abuse, neglect. Also, don't be tempted to call her out on Facebook if she knows you reported her, so she might have a chance to cover up her abuse. Not the asshole. You are a scammer who just want to make a quick buck. She never paid you and you never worked for her. I would blast her back on Facebook. You did exactly the right thing by telling your mom. Absolutely not the asshole. I am so glad you called CPS.